Hi, welcome to School of MiroKells. On today's spiritual talk, we're going to be talking about deep soul connections. My name is Kelly Lorraine. I'm here with Miro. Miro, what's a deep soul connection?
Hello, Kelly. Hello, everybody. So we have a lot of definitions. What can be the deep soul connection? But soul as an as a etherical thing and something that it's not visible, but we can feel it. We can, that's the reason why we sometimes says my soul hurts or something like that. It's just a saying, obviously. So the deep soul connection for me is something that is divided basically in three or more perspectives, where sometimes you can just have something good, something bad, and something, really tricky and triggery. So each of them is having obviously their own name. So we have something connected with karma, something connected with dharma, and something connected with both. So you all heard somebody saying like karmical partner, this, that, which is from my perspective something limited, let's call it like that, because we can't live in a world where we will say like this is black, this is white, this is black, this is white. Sometimes we need to understand the deepest meaning of why specific person, for example, is, let's call a karmic or karma. Why karma? Who gives you the power or who gives you the freedom to say that somebody is karma? So imagine like this. Let's make it simple. You had a fear in your life to deal with specific subject. One person came into your life, and at the beginning, everything was amazing, everything is okay, everything was cool. You were living your authentic truth, the love, everything, but yet you didn't saw how much you changed. After that, time passes, and yet you have some kind of triggers. But in the meantime, you changed. After that, the relationship is breaking or something like that, and yet you'd say, like, he's karma or she's karma, not realizing that if you didn't have that karma, you wouldn't become this person that you are right now. So we are everybody's keys. That's what is it about. So we need to unlock specific people. The karma can be basically spreaded in our whole life. It can be with our relationship, it can be with our friendship, it can be even with our family because we have a soul contract. So the deep soul connection is something that is for me connected on a so much higher level than maybe other people think of, which is, the need of your soul to go through a specific path in order to grow and to expand.
It's so interesting because there's so many things that I want to touch on that you said. And I think people get really caught up in labels. I remember when I first sort of got on this reawakened journey, because, I call it a reawakening, where I think everybody's looking for a title, or something to call it, and then all of a sudden you start seeing these titles, karmic relationship or soulmates or twin flames, twin rays, even. I hear a lot of titling. And as I've gone through the journey, I've actually gone away from those titles. Now, yes, I will use them if, for example, the cards that I'm pulling or the card decks that I'm pulling use those terms, where they say twin flame or they say soulmate or they say karmic, whatever. But, generally from my own perspective, in my own talk, I now stay away from actually using specific titles. Now, you said, if I'm not mistaken, that, people look to sort of karmic situations or karmic relationships, and yet for some reason they want to call other people's relationships karmic, but they don't often call their own relationships karmic. And I'm going to give you an example. On the twin flame journey, I hear a lot of people saying, well, he's my twin flame or she's my twin flame, but they're with their karmic. And I think what's really interesting about that is that how does that person know that this person who they think is their twin flame isn't just their karmic relationship? And I think that that's often confused at times, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I'm really not a fan of the term karmic. Whenever I hear he's with his karmic, she's with her karmic. I kind of cringe, to be honest with you, because I don't like that term. People need to understand that the term karmic is not just a person. Karmic relationships can be, like you said, they can be romantic, they can be friendships, they can be family, they can even be work, they can be cultural differences, religious differences. It could be anything that interferes within a relationship dynamic. And those are the lessons that we learn. So in theory, we're always asking our person to learn their lessons. Yet in theory, are we learning ours? So does that make any sense?
Exactly, right on point, because everything is available today. I think from, like personally, that's the issue. Everything is available on Google, everything is available there, here, everybody's reading, everybody knows everything, but yet they're not awakened. Imagine that you are like doing something, like you want to put the roof for your house, but yet you didn't build the foundation. So I think that first of all, we all need to go step by step, and that we need to understand that if you want to blame somebody for things that happens in your life, first of all, like not blame yourself, like you need to let go of that pattern, because you're, for example, in one relationship, and that relationship is like karmic, as you say, or you think that is. And now you have some traumas, you have this, you have that, and after that, like you're ending that relationship. The trauma that is inside you, the definition and declaration, the label that you said he's karma, he's that, she's that, is something that you are becoming in a next relationship, because you will basically become the person that you run away from. The reason why karma is happening is to learn the lesson. Somebody would say, for example, but Miro, why is the thing like this happening to me? Because I didn't kill even a fly in my life or something like that. But yet, it's not about that. It's not about it's about the thing that you don't allow the universe to make the closure. Something is in our soul contract. We will talk about that like in a maybe separate video to explain everything. But I will just jump to a little bit. So in our soul contract, we have it all. So when your soul needed to be incarnated here on earth, you saw the whole life that you need to go through. And you said, like, okay, I'm strong enough to go through karma here, through dharma there, through destined partner here, to twin flame here, to karmical parents, to karmical dog, or who knows what. Never mind. If the karma, I'm always saying, like, karma is not necessarily a bad thing. That's the unlocking. That's the when you're having the tooth problem, for example, you go to dentist to fix it, okay, maybe that is painful just a little bit, but that pain in compare with all the happiness that you are going to have after it, when you understand and let go of your ego, where he's always interfering in karma. And that's the reason why karma is as a magnetic connected with that ego. uh, you will receive it all after you let it go. So I think that people don't misunderstood the word karma. Of course, karma never loses an address.
Mhm.
Never do something what you don't want to be done to you. And to all those people who is saying, but I'm a good person, why is this happening? Because maybe who knows what, your great grandma, for example, she did something. And it's never like, that you're going to pay that karma. I mean, you're going, because always is the generations after that it's repaying things. Then we have the generations, we have the ancestors, we have even our past life. So all these three things, and plus fourth thing is this life, what you did since the moment that you were born. And all four things is having the influence, the amount of karma that you're receiving. But what's the beauty of all of that? We can change it. Now you're asking
How you
how.
deal with it, right? It's how you deal with it, right?
Exactly. How we are dealing with that. How are we pinpointing, fingers like I'm saying, Kelly, it's your fault, Miro, it's your fault. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not pinpointing at anybody, like not even myself. Anything like we all did bad things in life. Yeah, we did. But I mean bad. Like but what's the definition of bad? Who give you the right to judge
Mhm.
yourself, other people, or whoever? So I think that we need to stop being hard on ourselves because maybe somebody will say, like, I can never forgive myself for doing this or that. I probably, Kelly, you heard that so many times.
Many.
And if you're like dealing like with yourself on that level in a way of judging yourself, like where's the script? DM me and show me the script of a perfect life, how to live a perfect life by the universe. Where is the script? There is none. So who gives you the right? The article on internet, somebody says this, somebody says that. Everybody can be a spiritual, everybody can be a spiritual teacher, but what you absorb and what you hear and what you understand and what you feel, that's what matters. And with those informations, then you can see, but yet not to be judged, you can see what is karma, what is dharma, what is twin flame. So I think that everybody is jumping on a cake, nobody wants to make one. That's the thing.
It's interesting. I think the key word here to sum all that up is the word discernment, knowing what to take and what to leave behind. I guess in theory, where did I begin? I began by Googling. I began by reading and studying and learning. I mean, that's very much the Virgo in me. Of course, I love to learn new things. And, I can understand why people do that. There's nothing wrong with that, but there is the word discernment. You have to know what to take and what to leave behind. And yes, there's going to be an overload of information and videos, but again, we have to know how to take it and transmute that into power, into knowledge.
At least you can compare, go to another site, compare what you read with something else. When I started learning astrology, there is a lot of astrological books. But I found the one that was, easy for me to absorb all that knowledge, because when you start learning astrology, you can't go instantly on aspect, cosmic conjunctions, this or that. It's confusing.
It is.
So do the research. I'm not saying that there are articles on internet, on Google, whatever you are searching for is bad. No, they're beautiful. But still, not everybody can be the tarot readers. Not everybody can be the Reiki. Not everybody can be the astrologer. So not everybody is okay with that article that you're reading, but maybe you're going to be okay with another one. So find what suits you, but turn on the intuition. Do the reawakening moment in your life where you're going to study. What is it? Do it like take your um, uh, for example, piece of paper and pen and just write down, whatever, like you can um, do absolutely all kind of methods. And if you don't know, ask. That's the thing. People forget to ask.
It's a learning process. And I mean, this is what I said in our reawakening video. And that is, in the moment, we believe that we are right. What we believe at that time, we believe it to be true. And so as we progress on the spiritual journey and we learn, the most important thing here is to look back and assess. Now, I always say you can visit the past, you can't live there. I'm not suggesting we go live back a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But I do think it's important to look back. And I've said this to you even recently in our own, conversations, where I look back now as to where I was and I say, I thought that's what it was. Now I see differently, and I've learned, and I've been able to sort of absorb that information, and that's how I communicate it to my followers and our conversations and our workshops. It's that learning that I've done, and that's the whole point. It's learning. So nothing is always set in stone. Nothing is always law. So when we have, for example, the definition of a karmic relationship, and I'll call it karmic relationship, not saying he's a karmic, she's a karmic. I'm saying karmic relationship. To me, this is something that is a lesson. This could very well be a toxic relationship. There could be narcissism. There could be abuse. There could be things there that continually happen round and around and around. And again, we'll get to twin flames in a minute, but one of my pet peeves is that a lot of people confuse twin flame relationships for karmic relationships because they read 5 signs that you're in a twin flame relationship is that we go round and round. And I mean, that doesn't automatically mean you are a twin flame. So, when I get clients who come to me and they say, "Can you tell me if so and so is my twin flame?" I always say, I'm not in the business to confirm or deny. Why? Because anybody could tell you anything. Anybody could say, "Yes, they're your twin flame." Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? Is that going to make you feel better? Is that like, here's an award, you're a twin flame? It's not something that is really meant to be on display. It's meant to be something that you feel in your heart. All that matters is what you feel in your heart and in your soul. And if you believe that that's where you're at, then that is your truth according to you. So I don't ever confirm or deny for somebody and say, yes, this is your twin flame, or this is your soulmate, or, or even this is your karmic relationship. But karmic relationships typically are things that keep occurring. You go round and round, and they tend to be a little more on the toxic side. And these are the lessons. And then when people say, why do these things keep happening to me? They keep happening because people haven't learned the lessons. And I always say, in my lives, I talk about it all the time. How many rounds do you want to go? And people ask us the question all the time, how do you know when you're done? And in my opinion, when it comes to karmic situations, my definition of when you know you're done is when you will never, ever, ever entertain that thought, that feeling, that situation ever again. You will never be taken back to that place because you have learned your lesson. That nail is in that coffin. That line, you almost can't go back. And if you do go back, man, that other person has got to come correct, just like you have to come correct. There has to be a level of learning that allows two people to truly come correct. And that's just my opinion. I don't know, how do you feel about that?
Well, first of all, how I see the twin flame journey and how I see the destined partners and soulmate and karmic relationship. First of all, we all heard about incarnations. We all heard about past life. And our soul is something that is being incarnated limitless time, not just in this timeline, but all other timelines. Imagine now that we are having the limitless number of possibilities. Who can we decide to be our karmical partner, our destined partner, our twin flame partner? But who says that there is only one?
Mm-hmm.
Who says there is only one? First of all, that is something that I am dealing with my clients, specific group of clients who says to me like, is he the one? No, everybody's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Each guy can be the one, or each girl can be the one. Why? Because it's all about the adjustment on that frequency.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody will say, why there is why is the confusion there? The confusion there is because it's starting good, it's ended up bad. And because it's ended up bad, that relationship, people is always like making the closure as that's bad, karmic, like let's move on the track. It's just karmic. But yet, how can be that it was a destined partner or a soulmate partner first 3 months? So
Right.
we are all each other's karma, dharma, destined partner, and twin flame. Everybody, each other. We're all connected. Why? Because karma and dharma are like this. This is karma, this is dharma. I'm waving now, like the models, but never mind.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. Like you decide, and your partner, are you going to be, what are you going to be? You can be the twin flame. There's this position. You can be, this position, which is karma, or you can be the soulmate. It's not fixed. It's not, written in stone, as Kelly says. It's not something that it's 100% accurate like that. Because what's the most important thing? Um, Ask yourself, can you, for example, drew me on a piece of paper, love?
No.
Nobody can draw it.
Can they define
Nobody.
it? No.
Exactly. No, you can write. You can draw the shape as a heart, or you can do everything is red. No, this is heart. This is red color. What is love? So love is that first 3 months. Actually, being in love is that first 3 months in a relationship.
Is it,
And
or is it infatuation?
yeah, good
I'm
question.
just asking.
But you know what, how I see it? I
Yeah.
see it like the preparation. Like you have the first period as a preparation. After
Yes.
that, you're having the three, ways
Yes.
where that relationship can go. It
Yes.
can go to be karmical, to learn lesson, to grow more, because you need that person in order to, like do the evolutionary jump. If you have, I mean, we all have our best friends, right?
Mhm.
So imagine that your soul says, for example, oh my God, like, who is my best friend? And there is several souls coming to you, like saying, like, hello, yeah, I will help you. And you're happy to see familiar faces. After that, you're saying to that soul, okay, you will be my partner and you will teach me this lesson, but you will not teach me that lesson nicely because you're going to be that kind of partner. You're going to teach me that through pain, this, and that. But in order to do that, I will receive this at the end. So the hardest tasks you will give to your like closest souls. That's the reason why we are always, first of all, attracted to the karmical partners. I mean, karmical relationships, let's call it like that, in order to unlock ourselves from the chains that we have in our mind.
Mhm.
Because our mind dictates us, like, what do we need to do? Is this karma? Is this dharma? Is this, what is it? Why the question mark? Why is it hard to that preparation period, being in love or being in a preparation mode or being like in a mode of loving already? Why don't we like stretch it a little bit?
Mhm.
Who says that you need instantly to go in a relationship? Who says that you need instantly to clarify and label something as it is? Because at the first, that first like 3 months, we are always changing ourselves. That's the adaptation period.
Mhm.
That's the reason why we are in every and each relationship, different personalities we become. Why? Because we are learning through that period. After that, these three lines over here, karma, dharma, twin flame, that's something that we decide how much it's going to last because of our ego, our this, our that, because there's some little points over here that it's stretching, escalating and things like that. But so to make it simple, the twin flame is your soul. The second part of your soul, that's the twin flame. That's the total opposition of you. But yet, if we need to make it even more simple, twin flame is somebody who has inside them karma and dharma for you. So dharma is a good thing, obviously, it's a destined partner. So, twin flame is not something that everybody can have in life. How can you decide which one is what? That can't be, you can't have that answer through astrology, tarot reading, or something, because we read energies. We don't declare this is this is that. We can't play God. That's the thing. So we're not programmed. I mean, people is used to that, to be programmed by a system, but we
Mhm.
can't program our soul. We can't program our emotion. That's the reason why in that first period, you're living the best way scenario of your life, where you can't wait to see your partner. You can't wait to be with him. You can't wait to text him when I finish the video or something like that.
Mhm.
You want to be in love 100% 24 hours per day. So that's the everybody who unlocks that, and every person unlocks that in us. It's something that is our true nature. We are the beings of love and light. But everything else that we spend time to, like all those lines. Karma, dharma, what is it? What is it? Is this a wall behind me or what is it? Is it the brick wall or who cares? The feeling that I'm having, I always say to myself, how did I like let go, same as you, Kelly?
Mhm.
I always say to myself, um, never doubt in the love that you're feeling. The most important thing is to have the love in life, to feel the love, even if it's karmic, even if it's this or that. Because if you're pinpointing at other people and saying that's karma or his karma, that means by the law of universe that you're your own karma as well. So why would you say a bad thing about yourself, saying that your partner that you chose, nobody else, is karma? Whatever you choose for yourself. Deal
Yeah.
with your own thing. But the fact that you spend time on declaration and labels, what is it? It's something that you don't need to pay attention on. You need to understand that your inner self, your heart, and your soul knows what is it. Is it karma, destined partner, or twin flame?
I just find that a lot of people, when they use the term karmic, they use it for the description of somebody else and not themselves, because people don't want to acknowledge that they themselves have karmic relationships. Now, some people may say, I'm with my karmic, he's with his karmic, or she's with her karmic, whatever. But the majority of the times that I hear it, it's always somebody saying, but I'm the twin flame and he's with his karmic or she's with her karmic. There has to be a recognition here that there's a possibility that your relationship may in fact be karmic more than it is twin flame, right? And this is where the difficulty with the labels. And there's nothing wrong with having karmic relationships, because they are the relationships that teach you how to get out of these lessons and out of these possible toxic relationships or abusive or narcissistic relationships. They feel like love. That's the thing with all of these types of labels. They all start with love. Like you said, you can't wait to see them. You can't wait to text them. You can't wait to talk to them. They all start the same way. So you're right. How does one define soulmates? What I find really interesting about movies and media and television is that I think there's a real misrepresentation of soulmates, because soulmates are categorized as the one. Are they the one? Very rarely, Miro, do I imagine somebody coming to you and automatically saying, is this my twin flame? Because when you discover the twin flame journey, that's something even beyond like that's a spiritual awareness beyond the everyday. Okay. Most people in the 3D world, in the daily life, will say, this is my soulmate. They don't even know what a twin flame is. So they're going to say, this is my soulmate. Well, here's the thing. Movies and television and books teach us that we have one soulmate. This is the one for me. But you could have many soulmates. Mira, you're my soulmate. We have a soul connection. Do you know what I mean? They can be friends.
Yeah.
They can be family members. They can be romantic. There are 7 billion whatever people in this world. We cannot assume that one person is the be all end all. Relationships come and go. There's a season and a reason. Sometimes they last 6 months and sometimes they last a lifetime. Okay. But you can have many soulmates. And I think this is what people have a hard time understanding, is that you can love people for different reasons. Now, that doesn't mean that you are in love with 5 soulmates. It just means that those relationships also taught you lessons. My ex-husband is a soulmate of mine, but guess what? I think he's a lovely person. I don't want to be in a relationship with him. That doesn't mean that I think he's the be all end all for me. He's not. And I think this is the difficulty when we're looking at what the media portrays as being the one. Is he the one? Is she the one? Many people can be the one. It's chemistry. It's how you align. It's the frequency, like you said. Like attracts like. And I think this is the one thing about soul connections that people don't always like to look at. And it might be an unpopular thing to say, but imagine for a moment, if your person is emotionally unavailable, chances are you are emotionally unavailable, because we share the same frequency. Like attracts like. And even though you may be somebody who's positive and you always want to put out good things, that doesn't mean that you can't attract somebody who is not ready, because maybe on a subconscious level you may not be either. And I have been there. There have been times where I thought I was ready and I was like, yeah, but I'm a good person and I do this and I do that. Underneath it all, at the time, I just wasn't ready. It just wasn't right. That doesn't mean that they're my be all end all forever, but they taught me something.
Exactly. And I think that um, the fact that we all went through a specific, relationship, like karmic relationship and issues, is that at the start, in the beginning, we all want love because the love is something that we have, like that's our birthright. Okay.
Yeah.
So after time goes, like we see the pluses and minuses, like growing up in our own family. After that, dealing with the system and the world around us, and system tries to shape us, as you mentioned, Kelly. Like there's one destined partner, there's one twin flame, there's this, there's that. We are all connected. To demonstrate that, like I have my favorite deck. That's the Arcanum deck.
Mm-hmm.
So Arcanum deck contains good and bad cards. At first, when you're choosing your partner, you're saying, "Oh my God, but he is from this deck, so I will choose one card and I will have the Temperance, for example, which is a really good card. After that, when you finish this kind of, like relationship or whatever, because we can't in a kindergarten like be with that little girl or boy like the whole life. I mean, those cases are really rare. You go on a second journey, which is, we have the Prince of actually the Knight of Cups, somebody who is flirty, who is this, who is that. But what's the point over here? Each card represents a person, but
Mm-hmm.
it's all love.
Yeah.
This is the love. So imagine me right now opening cards for anybody over here without these two cards. I want to delete, I want to rip them, I want to, destroy them. Why? Because that was karma who hurted me. How this deck can show the truth if you're excluding two, maybe the most important cards, because it's the first two cards, first two relationships maybe that you have. So this is about your past. This is something about you. This is your foundation that was given to you to go through that. And now you're saying to me, I mean, me as somebody who is calling you and saying like, can you, deal like cards for me, to read a little bit. I don't know if you're lying to me. I don't know how many cards you have in your deck. I don't know even if you're looking at the deck or saying through your experience that you have from past. So everything is important. That love, that it's my favorite deck. I always say I can't watch in this deck. I can't read it through this deck if I don't have it all. So life is beautiful. Life is horrible. Relationships are beautiful and horrible sometimes, but it's all life. And the meaning of life, like what's the reason? Why do we live? We live to have the experience of our soul,
Mm-hmm.
because our soul is expanding, our soul is growing. And when it grows to that tipping point, then the soul is dividing on two pieces. One is you, one is your twin flame. And imagine now how many twin flames, how many times your soul did that evolution, and how many times your soul like go into two different person to become one person, another person. But yet, what's the fact over here is the moment where your soul, if you don't learn the lesson, can be divided on two as well.
Mm-hmm.
So how can soul be divided if it grows and if it falls? It can, because the beauty of that is in mirroring. So your soul is going to go. That's the reason why maybe in this lifetime you said he's my karmical partner or something, but yet you had your best friend who you don't even think that it's your twin flame. Why? Because twin flame is something love related and something, like with intimacy and things like that. It's not. Love has all kind of shapes.
I
love
love
is
what you just
karma.
said. I'm sorry. I love what you just said because I wanted to just point that out for a second. Is that when people begin their reawakening journey or twin flame journey, I don't even know if I would even call it twin flame journey anymore, because now through experience, I have shifted my own thinking. Because really what it comes down to is if a twin flame is your soul, is part of your soul, okay, or the splitting of a soul, then essentially it is your spiritual awakening or reawakening. So I almost look at it as that is your awakening, your reawakening. It's a catalyst for change. People put a very romanticized definition to twin flames because it does feel romantic at first. It feels magnetic. It feels hot. It feels absolutely intense. But at the same time, it's meant to be there as a catalyst for change. It's very hard to be in a relationship with somebody who is a catalyst because they're there to really show you who you are, what you want, what you deserve. And this is why when people talk about soulmates versus twin flames, if you were to ask me which I would prefer, I think hands down, I would tell you I would rather be with a soulmate because of the fact that that is more the love bond. That's the irony of the whole thing, is that we think that the twin flame is the ultimate romantic partner. And what's fascinating is that the connection really isn't about romance. And you don't learn that until you're kind of on the other side, as I call it. And I always refer to this on my own personal scale because I have my own personal scale of the journey and where I've been. And I look back and I say, you know, it was a catalyst for change for me completely. I'm here right now because of that catalyst. I wouldn't be here right now. I would still be living it out in my old relationship. I'd still be, I wouldn't be happy, but I'd be okay. Like I needed that shakeup. I totally needed that shakeup. And so it's a totally different type of connection than, let's say, a soulmate connection. And this is the age old. Would I rather be with a twin flame? Would I rather be with a soulmate? I think anybody who's on the journey has thought about it, has talked about it, has read about it. And as beautiful as the twin flame journey is, it's really about learning what you want, what you deserve, and standing up and making major life changes that are painful. They bring you to your knees. You get hurt. You take it like a stab in the heart when they run away from you, when they run back to their karmic situations. And why do the people run back? I mean, let's go back to my original. When I first got on TikTok and I used this analogy, people would tell me, oh my goodness, Kelly, I'm mind blown because nobody ever thinks about it this way. You meet somebody. So let's talk about that. The initial stages, you meet somebody and you're so infatuated and it's all this love, you're like instantly in love and you're like this, you're like on that same vibrational level. And then all of a sudden, what starts to happen? That person that you're so in love with starts running. And you're thinking, why are they running away from me? We forget that we mirror. We don't at that point even know that we're mirroring each other. But let's just say the person's running. Why? Because all of a sudden you're chasing this love. They're running from it, which means really they're running from themselves. And then where do they run to? They run back to the toxic situations or the karmic situations in which they have control over, they feel worthy of. So if your person has always had trauma, abuse, we don't wish that on anybody, difficult situations, abandonment, if that's all they know and they encounter you, who is this pure love and this catalyst, they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to receive it. There's no balance of masculine and feminine energy. There's no balance of equal giving and receiving. I always say to people like, Miro, what if I said to you right now, Miro, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm going to give to you. And you're not used to that. You don't even know what that is. And you're like, whoa, okay,
Yeah.
hold your horses. I'm out of here. And where do they run to? They run to where they're the ones who are providing. They're the ones who are in control. So I always describe it like a power bank, and if anybody's wondering about the breadcrumbing or the coming in and out, all of a sudden somebody comes in, they're feeling low, and then they come charge in like they got their phone plug, they got their 2% battery, they come to you, you know, you're at 100%, they have this beautiful love affair, and then all of a sudden drain your energy and they go run. And you go round and around and around. Hence why I always ask, how many rounds do you want to go? And people don't seem to understand that this is a catalyst for change, because once you won't go any more rounds, everything shifts in your life. All of a sudden, you get stronger. You start doing things that you normally wouldn't do. You start gaining the courage to make changes, and then you become your best self.
Definitely. And just to mention something,
Yeah.
everything at the beginning is without shape.
Yes.
There's no shape, there is no limit, there's no boundaries, there's no anything. How time go by, you are starting to do something. So is that hard to understand yourself? And why I say understand yourself? Because nobody wants to be with a person who is, you know, suffocating, you know, you, or choking you, or manipulating with you, or, you know, abuse you. Like, that's the horrible way. But yet you are becoming that person. Why force? Can you do me a favor and have for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and all small meals and snacks in between just a piece of cake?
Mm-hmm.
You need to have different kind of energy. You need to have different kind of meals. You know, we know what breakfast is, what lunch is, what's the snack in between, what's this or what's that. We know. But you can't ask from universe, specifically not from that person who came to your life, who start like running away a little bit, you know, away from you. Why? Because you're instantly changing into a piece of cake, and you're providing yourself to become, I will become whatever you want. You
Yes.
know, you are changing yourself, not even being aware of that. And that's the moment at the beginning where, when you're in love or in illusion with that person that you're with, because, oh my God, the low self-esteem, the self-confidence, and I have somebody who is like a God or something. You have the twisted perception of yourself. Then when universe is giving you a partner who can, you know, help you, to give you the clarity in your mind, you know, if you attract this kind of person, that means that there is an equal mark, this is you as well. But no, people does not know that in that moment. They're thinking, oh my God, I'm in a need, I need to provide, I need to change, I need to dye my hair, I need to shave it, I need to do this or that. You are in an instant change because your self-confidence is low. Then that person is running away from you. Why? Because yet you're not the way you were at the beginning. You show yourself in a different light. Try to, like, um try to, you know, make yourself what you are not. I'm not saying that you're not, like, for love, or that you're not able to give and share and
Or that
provide.
you're not amazing. I think what you're saying is that everybody puts on their best self when they meet someone. You don't see the moody version or the sad version or the stressed out version when you first meet a person.
Exactly.
You
Imagine,
put on your
like,
best self.
you're taking your best dress or
Yes.
best suit if you're a guy,
Yeah.
like, not necessarily, but, and
Yes.
you're going to sleep, you're going to shower with that, you're going to do this or that, to mow the grass, or it's crazy. You know, we can't do everything with a smile on our face. Everything is amazing. You know, this is this is that. It's only so tiring. And when somebody, your partner, whoever he is or she is, when they see that, they are pushing away, you know, pushing you away. They're pulling themselves out of that relationship. Why? Because nobody wants pushy, nosy, and people who is forcing things. Yet you say about yourself, but I wasn't being pushy. I wasn't forcing things, but yet that comment makes you the guilty because you were pushy and you were doing those kind of things. Because if not, why would you defend yourself?
Well, Miro, that comes down to expectations. And I talk about this all the time, is that we love people the way we want to be loved, not the way our partner wants to be loved. And that comes down to the 5 love languages. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? We often, we think that if we love somebody the way we want to be loved, that's going to work. And it's an expectation. It's like saying, I'm going to do this so that you have to give this back to me. And we don't know that we're doing it. And that's
yeah,
really, really, really what it comes down to. We have an expectation. And I was guilty of it too. I think we've all been guilty of this. The best advice that was ever given to me when I had my very first reading, and this is a piece of advice I pass along to everybody, it's don't book the honeymoon suite, because this is what everybody does. They encounter this person and all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, they're the one. This is the perfect scenario. We're going to get married. We're going to whatever. I mean, you've already booked the 4 seasons. You've booked, you've booked the best of the best of the best. And you haven't even gone through the process yet. Right.
exactly.
And that's what
Imagine you're having, for example, even somebody like knocking on your door, and you're trying to open, you're trying to do this, do that, if you're doing everything instantly, but yet you're not able to do it. Why? Because you need to follow yourself, you need to follow what you started. So the thing is, like with people with expectations and everything that they're doing, I think that they don't listen to themselves. That's the thing. They don't listen to their heart, they don't listen to their soul and things like that. Yet they're just trying to be somebody who is, like living in a beautiful world where they are going to have it, the unicorn land, this or that.
Well, they want to be the
And
perfect partner, Miro. That's what it comes down to. The overgiving, the imbalance of the masculine and feminine energy is essentially the idea that I'm going to overgive to you and I'm going to show you that I'm the perfect partner. I'm going to prove to you that I'm the perfect partner for you. And by trying to prove, that means you're living in lack. You don't believe you already are enough. So you're going to go the extra mile. You're going to put yourself way too much in the masculine energy, which is going to throw the masculine energy into the feminine energy. And that feminine energy is going to go, this isn't natural to me. I'm going to go run for the hills. And
exactly.
that's why it goes around and around and around. And what people don't understand is that in these deep soul connections, whatever you want to call them, people think it's counterintuitive to detach and pull back. It's actually the best thing you can do, because that person has to do their own healing. They have to learn their own self-confidence, their own worthiness. You cannot pull somebody up and say, I'm going to pull you up to this level and prove to you that we are the perfect match for each other, because you can tell them till you're blue in the face. You can tell them all about the journey. You can tell them all the details about why you're perfect for each other. They have to believe it for themselves. And this is the whole thing about deep soul connections. And I know we're going to talk about it way more in depth in other videos, but essentially, these are the basics.
Exactly. We are our own twin flame, karmic relationship, destined partner, everything. We just need to be aware of the fact that love unites all 3 things. So if love is something that is uniting karma, dharma, twin flame, and everything, then we are love. And how can love question love? That's a good question to think about.
It is. I mean, really what it comes down to, number one, is self-love. You're not going to just all of a sudden be in love when somebody comes along. It's not like I'll be happy when, I'll be in love when. It's you have to be in love with yourself. You have to feel that confidence. And when you are in that zone, that's when that partner comes in and it does click and it does feel right. And they're not going to run. And they're not going to run because they're confident in themselves, because you're confident in yourself. You're not running. It's just, it's the whole mirroring process. So when
Well,
you're,
we will definitely talk about this, like even like through more videos, because this is really huge subject. And I think to go like step by step with everybody in order to understand the first meaning of everything. So love unites everything, karmic, karma, dharma, and twin flame. and everything in between, because we have the subclasses as well. So I think that the awareness of not having expectations, not having, the need to prove yourself because you were hurt in the past or this or that, because everything that we are doing out of our experience that we went through at the beginning. So if the first two relationship were bad, who gives you the right to judge the whole deck?
Right. Well, I invite anybody viewing this video in the comments to ask questions about what they would like us to cover in those future videos, because I think this is a topic of deep soul connections that could be, taken in any direction. So I'd be curious to know what people are thinking. Miro, let's take a card or two just before we finish off, just to sort of, what do we need to know about deep soul connections?
Okay.
Interesting. The high.
Interesting cards.
Oh my goodness. Oh my, I feel like I've seen these cards before. Miro, have you seen these cards?
It's
Yeah.
not like one big video,
Yeah, this
It's
is
like
like
that.
one big video today, isn't it? I would say this, look, the Hierophant is about spiritual ascension, commitment, union, but it's one that is a tough journey. The burdens, that 10 of that 10 of wands over there, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally exhausting. And I think anybody on this journey can attest to that. There's a level of frustration, but what is the key of that 10 of wands? Surrender. That's really what it put down the burdens.
Exactly. Let go of everything that you are holding and keeping on you as a weight on your shoulders. I think that we all need to understand and to learn that you can value yourself. You don't need a partner to like as a definition of a value or something like that. First of all, the soul recognizes the soul, which means that if you're seeing yourself as a person who is poor me, I'm in a need of providing other people, I'm the helper, I'm the healer, I'm this, I'm that, that makes you the perfect karmical partner. But in order for deep soul connection, we need to let go, because if there is love, where is the spot in this circle that I just like drew? Where is the circle who says like where the for example the guilt is? Where is the guilt? Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? There's none, because that's love. We can't fix and mix something to become something that it's not. Because then love is not love. Then love is just an illusion in your mind. And that's the reason why you attract people who is not there for you to, actually, they're not there for you because you're not there for yourself. So let's
Right.
take another card to see.
Yeah. 8 of Pentacles.
Yeah.
Wow, if that's not reminiscent of my journey, and I'm sure everyone else's, it's trust the process. 8 of Pentacles is it's work. You will be abundant. That Knight of Pentacles is Taurus energy, so slow, slowest moving out of the deck, but eventually it will pick up. It will be abundant. It will get to that King of Pentacles, but it's a process, and we can't try to rush anything. And this is the whole point about deep soul connections and about that instant love. And that is that we want the instant gratification. We want to say we're in a relationship sometimes for the sake of just being in a relationship. You want to say, I'm in love. You want to say, and those are all beautiful things. They are. But a long-term successful relationship requires work. I bring my best, you bring your best. It's not just an automatic. We have to come correct. And it's not just ourselves, it's our person, vice versa, whatever.
And I always love, what I love to say is that not even Rome was built for one day, like rather less your love life and everything that love contains. So
Yeah.
let's take the third card, because we love number 3.
Yes. Oh, you know, is that the Death card?
Of course it is.
Yeah. Transformation. This is like these journeys, we couldn't even have asked for better cards, Miro, because they are so accurate to the journey. It is like a literal like death of your soul, dark night of the soul. This is what one goes through. Your new life is going to cost you your old life. If you want to ascend, you've got to let go. And that means going through a metamorphosis, a total transformation, a catalytic heart awakening. And then there comes your 10 of cups. You know, it's not the entitlement of, well, I just deserve the 10 of cups. Well, of course you deserve the best. You deserve the best of the best of the best. We all do. However, you've got to be willing and open to let all that other stuff go and detach and to walk away when it's even the hardest thing you'll ever have to do. But you'll do it and it will reap you the rewards.
So I have the, the problematic card as the first one, and you, Kelly, have the most beautiful card in the deck as the last one. So
Yeah.
then it means that the end is the new beginning and the beginning is the new end.
Right.
So that's the thing, and I say it accurate. I didn't do bad, But the thing is over here that whatever that is stopping you, whatever that is, the lack of patience, the lack of this, the lack of that, that's an excuse, just an excuse, because we live in a modern world. It's cool to have the excuses, but yet it's stupid to say something. Oh my God, that's soul.
Yeah.
Because people live in 3D and they're pinpointing and saying like, if I see that this is a card, I will believe it. Okay, that's totally fine. That's your world, your life, whatever that is. I'm just saying, if you want to end a cycle, if you want to have the patience, if you want to trust the process, your first step is to let go. Let go and enjoy the ride and enjoy transformation, because this transformation is going to give you and bring you absolutely the 10 of cups, which is something that is God given by all of us, or universe, is giving us. And that is the happiness, because nobody incarnated here on earth to be alone, to be somebody who is unhappy, to don't never recognize love, never see love. But it's all in our perspective, how we see things. So basically, beauty lies in simplicity, and basically the beauty as beauty is something that depends of the person who is watching.
Totally. And just to sum it up, I love how your cards were a perfect summary, because mine are too. At the beginning of the journey, you're given the signs and the synchronicities. It's all about methodical steps, spiritual ascension. It requires you to do the work, to go through the pain, even though we say, why is this happening? It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. Like you said earlier, the universe doesn't give you something you can't handle. You do the work. You go through those trials and tribulations. Like I said, the best thing that ever happened to me was that I went through the things that I went through. I have no regrets. I don't long for anything in the past. I wouldn't go back to yesterday. I wouldn't go back to last week. I wouldn't go back to last year or 5 years. There's nothing in the past that could draw me back. Zero to zero. One of Kelly's lines. It's zero, because I've done the work to say, I deserve this 10 of cups. I have receipts. This is the difference. When you have receipts, there's your 10 of cups. But if you don't have the receipts and you haven't done any of this, the universe is not giving you your 10 of cups. You have to get rid of the old thinking. You have to have a positive self-concept. You have to believe in you, and you will have this. Wow, Miro. Deep talks. There's so much we could talk about. So again, I invite anybody watching in the comments, let us know what questions you have or any topics you'd like us to cover. I could talk about this stuff for hours. So thank you, Miro. And I will see you next week.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.